Now, as MK Stalin backs wrestlers against WFI boss Brij Bhushan, singer Chinmayi Sripaada claims Stalin's hypocrisy. She's joining us live at the moment. Chinmayi, thank you so much for speaking exclusively to India Today. I've read your long post on social media. I'm going to take just one line from it and start this conversation. You say that the rules cannot be different for Vairamuthu, the poet lyricist, the national award-winning poet lyricist who you and 17 other women at least have accused of sexual harassment. The rules cannot be different for him and Brij Bhushan. Are you saying that MK Stalin is being hypocritical when he extends support to the protesting wrestlers at Jantar Mantar against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, but won't speak a word when it comes to your molester, alleged sexual harasser in at least 17 cases you mentioned?
Yes, 100%. There are actually more than 18 women who have named Mr. Vairamuthu with people corroborating in public domain, including Rehman's sister had informed in an interview in 2018 that yes, this man is like this, there's nothing that we can do. There are other people from the industry who are now abroad who have given video bites and videos from their own social media channels saying that they have seen Mr. Vairamuthu misbehave with girls in front of their eyes. So this man has been an open secret as long as Tamil Nadu is concerned. He unequivocally gets a lot of support from Tamilians across the globe, not just in Tamil Nadu. He is extremely politically connected. He is not just connected to the DMK, but at the same time, I also asked Mr. Kamal Haasan, who heads M&M, saying that why is it that when there is, he is also from the Tamil industry, and of course he's a pride of this country as an actor. However, when something comes up from his own industry, he has also platformed Mr. Vairamuthu at an event that he had organized, and it was an industry heavyweight event. Everybody here in Tamil Nadu becomes conveniently and comfortably silent when I pick up the issue of Mr. Vairamuthu, and because I named him, I have been banned for the past 5 years to work from the Tamil film industry. Thankfully, I have been able to sing in other languages and work in other languages, but as long as the Tamil film industry is also concerned, they have remained silent and watched the ban happen right in front of their eyes. So yes, the rules are very different when they speak for a sexual harasser who is not from, their own circle, and when it is outside, they are all ready to speak up.
How does it feel when you see, of course, because you in fact directed this note, addressed this note to the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. How does it feel when you see MK Stalin extending his support, his unequivocal support to the protesting wrestlers at Jantar Mantar who have levelled similar charges like you have levelled against Vairamuthu?
I completely, as a survivor, I am 100% in of the belief that the wrestlers deserve every ounce, every little bit of support that they can get from the Honorable Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, or Mr. Kamal Haasan, or from every politician from this country. The pressure needs to come up because the man that has been named is very, very powerful. He holds and wields so much power, so much clout, and so much influence. And the wrestlers deserve and they need all sort of support that they can get. And Mr. Stalin's support to this is really praiseworthy, and I believe that he needs to support. But at the same time, what I did add to that as well is that, which I have also requested Kanimozhi ji to take, and all the other women politicians in DMK who have not said anything each time that they have platformed Mr. Vairamuthu, that also look at this. So many women have named this Sahitya Academy Awardee, Padma Bhushan Awardee, all of that, multiple national award winners. So the amount of clout that Mr. Vairamuthu wields, not just here but in the entire Tamil community across the world, is momentous. So it's definitely not easy, not just for me. I'm not the only one who has spoken up in public against Mr. Vairamuthu. Several other women have also spoken up in the public domain. So that's it's kind of sad that they want to just continue to brush it under the carpet, hoping that I will stop speaking someday and then they can all forget about it.
Chinmayi, when you say that they continue to, the DMK or other politicians, you named Kamal Haasan as well, they continue to platform Mr. Vairamuthu, what do you say? What are you referring to?
What I'm referring to is there are, I think in the past 5 years, ever since he's been named, there will be numerous photo opportunities with the Honorable CM Sri Stalin that Mr. Vairamuthu has had. He is invited to political events. He is a guest of honor in a lot of these political events. With that, other Tamil politicians also attend. Even national level politicians have also attended these events and have staged, shared the stage with Mr. Vairamuthu in the events in the past 1.5 years. I will probably give them a little bit of benefit of doubt because they may not have known that Mr. Vairamuthu has been named by so many people here in Tamil Nadu. But even people from the Congress have, shared a stage with him a while ago here in Tamil Nadu for a very important event. But there's nothing that anybody is able to do because all that we constantly see is this man wielding his political clout, growing his political connections so that he can be shielded. So I think and not just that, I think other politicians from Tamil Nadu, all of them who have so much influence and so much power, every time that he comes to attach himself with them for a cause, they willingly bring him up on stage and platform him and show him as a pride of their, ideological group, whatever that ideology may be. So that is kind of sad because this is exactly this is the general playbook of sex offenders or any offender for that matter to get close to people in power so that they can get away easy. Especially in the case of sexual offense, it seems to be a lot more rampant.
And are you saying that he uses this political proximity, this proximity to top politicians in Tamil Nadu in order to threaten those like yourself and others who have in fact leveled these very serious charges against him of sexual harassment and assault?
Yes, there has been another girl who came out in the open to name him, has categorically said that he is the sole reason that her career has gone to dogs because he would call people to not work with her whenever she is called on to perform in concerts. In my particular case, he has specifically mentioned his proximity to the then when he threatened me, the then ruling party and the chief minister, and said that you have no idea what I can do to you if you do not come and sing at this event. And that was the first time that I had refused to sing at a book launch of his. This was even before the Me Too movement. In 2015, I had refused to be a part of his book launch event in which so many politicians across the country had participated. He is very famous for inviting the biggest of names in this country for his book launches. Everybody knows about it, and it is very difficult to speak about it because every big singer, every big actor in the industry will be a part of these events, from Mr. Rajinikanth to Mr. Kamal Haasan to Mr. Wali to the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. They will be present at his book launches. That is how powerful he is, and he has used his proximity and used their names to silence me. And I will say this again and again and again, and I have been saying this for the past 5 years, just that I think nobody wants to listen to it here.
And you've been suffering professionally as a result of this for the past 5 years, Chinmayi.
That's correct. I have a formal work ban which I am legally fighting in the Honorable City Civil Court here in Chennai. And it has been 5 years and counting of literally struggling to get my right to work back. At the time that the Me Too movement broke out in 2018, for the second time, doffing my hat to Raya Sakar, who had actually spoken about it in 2017 with her list of sexual harassers in academia. In 2018 October, when so many of us across the country spoke up, promptly in November 2018, I faced a diktat from the dubbing union that I can no longer work. At that point in time, the current president of the dubbing union was a part of the DMK. Nobody did anything to stop the ban, and I'm still fighting that case 5 years on. And actually, I'm not the only woman banned. Another woman also mentioned about sexual harassment, and she was also banned, and then she was made to tender an apology letter for having named powerful people. So now she is working because her her livelihood depends on going to work every day so that she can pay her bills.
This is absolutely shocking. You're saying there's an actual official document which states that you've been banned from working in the Tamil film industry because you made certain charges against a very powerful individual. It's not even an unsaid diktat that you're just being denied work. It's literally a piece of document that you're fighting in a court. That's very, very shocking. Chinmayi, just stay on with us. A reaction coming in from the Tamil Nadu BJP president. Listen in.
இன்னைக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டில் கவிப்பேரரசு வைரமுத்து அவர்கள் இருக்கின்றார். அவர் மேலே எத்தனை கம்ப்ளைண்ட் இருக்கு? 19 கம்ப்ளைண்ட் இருக்கு. அவர் யார் கூட நின்றுகிட்டு இருக்காரு? லெஃப்ட்ல ரைட்ல கவிதையெல்லாம் பயங்கரமா எழுதுறாரு. யார் கூட நிற்கிறாரு? முதலமைச்சர் ஸ்டாலின் கூட இருக்காரு. அந்த பாடகி அம்மா எத்தனை மாசமா கத்திக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க? அது செக்ஷுவல் ஹராஸ்மெண்ட் கம்ப்ளைண்ட். ஒரு எஃப்ஐஆர் போட்டாங்களா? அவரை ஒரு போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு என்கொயரி பண்ணாங்களா? இன்னைக்கு நாங்க கவிப்பேரரசு வைரமுத்து அவர்களை கைது செய்ய வேண்டும் தமிழக பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி சொல்லுதுன்னு அது தவறு.
So that is, of course, speaking about, the kind of powerful individual that Vairamuthu clearly seems to be, because nobody wants to speak up against him despite there being so many women who've come forward and made some very grave charges against him. You also speak in your note, Chinmayi, about how there is a need within the industry, within the Tamil film industry and television industry, to have ICCs and POCSO units. Chinmayi.
Correct. So the industry as such, the Film Employees Federation of South India has about 24 crafts and that many unions, and there are more smaller unions that have sprouted up in the past several years. All of these unions require ICCs in place. All of these unions require POCSO units in place because they actually employ children. We all know that. You see child artists. Television industry employs children in reality shows, in TV serials and so many things like that. Nobody even, forget all of that. Political parties don't have ICCs. I asked so many followers who came out in defense of Mr. Kamal Haasan of MNM. They, say that they are very progressive, they are very highly educated, they come from very different backgrounds. And I asked them, do you have an ICC? And they said, what is an ICC? There is no such thing like that. So when a woman who is a functionary in their own party has named Mr. Vairamuthu, Mr. Kamal Haasan ended up inviting Mr. Vairamuthu for an event that he had organized. And the lady who had named Mr. Vairamuthu also very publicly was a part of the organizing committee. So this is the kind of tolerance and tolerating that we all need to do while, so-called doing our jobs and going about our day. This is exactly what I also pointed out, saying that this is really hypocritical. When you say that you speak for the safety of women while at the same time platforming a molester just because you say time and again that you respect him and that you believe that he may be a great poet. I mean, no doubt about it. Clearly, the Padma Bhushan has been awarded to him and so many things like that. But that is not something that you can completely ignore when so many women have spoken up against him for serious sexual offense, charges. So that is something that I have been time and again asking, how is it that even today, despite so many bigwigs from Tamil industry actually segueing into politics, using this industry as a vehicle to eventually fulfill political dreams if they have, why is it that they did not set up, safety measures so that it is easy not just for women but for all genders to safely report cases of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is gender agnostic. Men can face it, trans people can face it, non-binary people can face it, women can face it, children can face it. So when are we going to have all of these systems in place? When will posh workshops be taken for all of this? I've been asking for 5 years, and so many people in so many spaces of such political power that have gone from Tamil Nadu industry, Tamil film industry, none of it in place in 5 years. I understand before that, even I did not understand, or I was not aware of the fact that there is something called an ICC, there is something called a POCSO unit. I have learned all of this. But as politicians who speak for the case of child welfare and women's safety, isn't it their business? Isn't this what we vote all of them for, so that I can go do my job as a singer or an entrepreneur? They have to keep all of these systems in place so that all of these places that we all want to be working in should be safe for all genders. But where is that? There's nothing. They come, they just put out a tweet, they come, face the camera, face the media, and then especially in POCSO cases, when there is a POCSO accusation, the person needs to be arrested. No arrest has been made. Even Mr. Brij Bhushan has not been arrested. The POCSO law mandates that he needs to be arrested, right? When there is a minor involved. So which is why I don't know how and in which manner or form that any political party in India can actually have a moral high ground saying that we have unequivocally across the board spoken up for all sexual harassers, especially when it is somebody in their own fold. Mr. M.J. Akbar is right there, isn't he?
It's exactly what you're actually saying. It definitely, as you look at it, it sounds hypocritical, because if you speak in the case of 7 women who have in fact come forward, these protesting wrestlers who've come forward, including a minor. There's a POCSO case against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. If you speak up about that, why isn't that you will speak up when 17 women come forward and say the exact same thing? Say that there is a powerful individual out there who is charged with some very grave allegations that have been leveled against him by 17 different women. Why not take those allegations very seriously and investigate the matter further rather than platforming him? Also, what you say in your post, Chinmayi, is that you have evidence. It's not that, you know, where is the evidence? This happened so many years ago. How will you prove it? You have evidence of Mr. Vairamuthu calling you and asking you to quote-unquote compromise, Chinmayi.
That's right. See, I also want to state on record, which I have also stated on record multiple times on my social media platforms in Tamil and in English, that in 2018, when all of us spoke up, the only legal route that was available to us, considering this was a very new thing that India was facing, it was not as if it was, in the case of Harvey Weinstein in the US, it was not completely backed by an investigation, a journalistic investigation, which eventually led to Harvey Weinstein being behind bars today, facing hundreds of years in jail, if not more. It was a completely women-led, citizen-led sort of a collective anger, and it was a cathartic exercise that so many of us spoke up, not realizing whether there are even legal repercussions or legal ways for us to find justice after so many years, because we are not raised as a culture to say it is absolutely okay for us to report cases of sexual harassment. We have been raised as daughters of India to brush this under the carpet and to ignore all of this and to not speak up about this. So once in 2018, when the Me Too movement broke up for the second time here, we all realized that, okay, so it is actually not our fault. So when the first realization hit us, all of us spoke up. The NCW actively encouraged us to send our complaints in writing to them. At the same time, around 2018 or the beginning of 2019, a Me Too committee was constituted, a central government committee was constituted under the supervision and the leadership of Sri Rajnath Singh. They were supposed to have met, and they said they were going to look into all of these complaints. So what I very naively imagined and hoped for, just like everybody else, is that there would be some sort of an independent complaints committee, sort of an independent inquiry that will happen for all of these very grave accusations, with many of us have evidence, because eventually these molesters will call us and say, let us agree and come on a compromise. So Mr. Vairamuthu did call through a very prolific director here in Tamil Nadu, saying that I would like to arrive at a compromise if you would just stop talking about me. So I have that call record. I have spoken to his son, who also agreed that he's aware of this and his family is aware of it, and then of course he turned tables. Of course it's his own father. He's not going to put his own father on the stand. However, I have that. I have spoken to other people over the years saying that I do not want to work with this man because I am not safe around him. And this is how we all work. When we feel a little uncomfortable around a man, we tell our friends to somehow shield us, and this is how we all operate, don't we? So we say, oh dude, you know what, can you just, because I don't feel safe around him, so we'll have that one buddy who will take us safe.
Right. Chinmayi, thank you so much for speaking out. We hope that MK Stalin and the DMK is listening, because it almost sounds hypocritical. If he's going to speak up about the protesting wrestlers, why would he not speak up in this case as well? Thank you so much for speaking.